I always think about like, when do I want to get a house? When do I want to like strive for that? When do you start saving for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's something I feel like for me, that's like the next thing in the future is like, is house probably, right? Like in terms of, because I'm living in an apartment. I'm in LA. It's gonna be really hard to get a house though. I feel like my situation is very different now because I'm in LA. But like my buddy DC, for instance, he's in. I guess I can say where DC is. He's in Nashville. I went to college with him and everything, and I mean he's married now and is basically in a house.
Did he buy his first house? Or his own house?
I think it's like a townhome.
Like a townhouse?
Yeah,
Still counts.
yeah. But I haven't been there yet. I really want to go. But yeah, I'm just like, damn, like he's killing it already. You know.
How old is he?
He's my age. He's 23.
23.
Yeah.
So he's like a year out of college, right? Year or two?
Yeah, same for me. Well, just less than a year.
Less than a year out.
6 months maybe.
See, yeah, I think that's awesome. That's good for. So did he buy it? You say, or he's
bad.
just renting it for now?
He's just renting it, but I know DC. He's like he's
gonna buy one.
He's really into all this kind of stuff.
Into finance and stuff like that. All right. So to answer your question, here's personally, I think buying a house before buying a car is super smart.
Yeah.
A car is a liability. It's a debt, really. Because as soon as you buy the car and drive it off the lot, it loses value.
Yep.
You're whatever. Let's say you buy a car for $30,000. Drive it off the lot, it's instantly worth like $28,000.
Yeah.
So you just lost $2,000 right off the bat. Yeah, you get you A to B, and there's opportunity costs, stuff like that. But that's a liability. It's a debt. With a house, let's say you put $30,000 down on a house. It's an equity. It's equity. You own the house, and you can resell the house ideally for more in the future. And you're building like an asset for yourself.
Yeah.
You're putting equity into an asset that you own.
So you like you're saying the faster you have something like that, the better.
I don't think it's the faster the better. So for me, I bought this place we're staying in right now.
Guys, I'm like I'm a super noob to all this kind of stuff, to be honest, because I'm like fresh out of college. Literally.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people, a lot of guys watching this might even be younger than that. So like they're not thinking about that yet, but trust me, I think it's important that you do start to think about this stuff, because the sooner you do it, the better you're going to be long term.
True.
That's like the key that we're going to hit on a bunch here. So the first thing I would buy is a house, if you can. Obviously, a house is like a way bigger deal than a car.
Yeah.
And if you need the car to go to your job, or you want to like freedom, obviously, I think it's great. But I would recommend buying a used car. Like your first car shouldn't be your dream car. It shouldn't be even like a car that it's like really not. I think you should buy as cheap as possible and save your money for the house. Yeah. I bought the house before I bought my Tesla, my car.
Yeah.
And I bought the house at 23, which is, I would say, is kind of early compared to most people. Because a lot of my friends that are now like 24, 25 are still living with their parents still.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people. I think a lot of people are still in that boat, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
fine.
Just like, right now, especially during the pandemic, it's really hard if you got a job and whatnot. So I'd say, house is the first thing you want to buy when you can. Mm-hmm. We can get detailed on that if you want, like how it works, like a mortgage.
Dude, how stressful is a mortgage?
It's not. So here's what my thought process was.
Yeah.
I moved to LA. I was living in an apartment. I was paying $1,500 a month in a 2-bedroom apartment. I was splitting it with my roommate. It was about $3,000 a month.
That's not bad. It doesn't sound
well,
bad.
I mean, it depends where you live in the country. It's expensive.
If you're splitting it though.
But for LA, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
So $1,500 a month is what I paid, plus utilities. But let's just make it real easy. $1,500. So I pay that every month, and I get to live there.
Yeah.
The beauty of renting, I don't got to worry about when things break. I can call a landlord. Like your AC broke, right? Oh, you just call up the guy and they'll fix it. And
That's true.
You don't have to pay for it.
Right.
Right? It's on the apartment complex. Mm-hmm. Great. The difference between that and this place, I'm now paying a little bit more in my mortgage, but that just depends on what you put down. Mm-hmm. So let's just say I pay the same amount roughly.
Okay.
I pay $1,500 a month for the mortgage, but I own the place. That $1,500 I spend every month, I'm not basically burning it.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it into this house. So it's still the same amount of money, but I'm paying off the loan on the house. So when I'm done paying off the loan, I own this house that's worth whatever it's worth at that point. $500,000, I don't know, whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
So all that $1,500 every month that I put away for however long, years and years and years, I'm really just paying myself. I'm putting it into an asset as opposed to giving it to a landlord or whatever that I'm never going to see again. But there's pros and cons of both, right? Like owning a house,
It's a big
anytime
deal.
something breaks,
Yeah.
I gotta call someone or I gotta do it myself. I gotta fix it, and that adds up a lot. You got property taxes. That's thousands of dollars a year extra that you don't have to pay when you pay rent. There's extra costs involved, but at the end of it, you own the place, right?
And Cali taxes are high too.
So
right.
the income tax is bad
Yeah.
here. It's like 9%.
Yeah.
But the property tax is actually reasonable.
Really?
It's 1.25% of whatever the property value is. So I pay it's like $6,000 a year on property tax.
Damn.
Back home, my parents' house that's valued the same amount as this place,
Mhm.
they were paying $21,000 a month. I meant a year, sorry, for property tax. A month? Can you imagine, bro? They'd be no, that'd be terrible. You get out of that situation.
Yo, this deleted.
Gone.
This is gone.
Throw it in the trash. Yeah, so but New Jersey does it way differently than they do it here. Like there, everyone pays like a portion. Like if you live in a small town and there aren't a lot of businesses that pay taxes, the residential properties pay more tax. So the taxes can be way higher.
Okay.
Or lower, but depends on where
See,
you
that's
live.
what I see. See, I moving from like Texas and all that kind of stuff. I just always hear like taxes are so bad over here compared
Oh,
to
terrible.
everything else.
Brutal. But your level of income here is also generally higher.
It's true. Yeah.
Because it has to compensate somehow. But it is way harder to live
Yeah.
here because it's way more expensive and the taxes are brutal.
Dude, I miss my apartment in Austin.
Oh, it's probably way cheaper.
Oh my god. I don't even want to go into those numbers.
No, I don't. I bet you don't. I bet you don't, dude.
It's a pain. It is really a pain right now. But
Um.
I don't think I'm going to be living there longer than a year, probably.
Well, I mean, enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
But you did pick like the most expensive spot in all of LA, pretty much.
There's reasonings why, but we can't talk about those yet.
Fair. So, well, I mean, hey, you live it up while you're there, you know?
It was one of those things where it was also moving during COVID too.
Yeah.
You got to think about that as well. Like it was kind of had to find a place really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get a lot of time to scout it out as much as I wanted
Right.
to.
Well, now that you're here, you can figure out where you want to be and,
Mm-hmm.
we get a better deal.
But now that I've now I've been here though, like I can tell you, just being like, I do miss my Austin apartment though. I had so much room.
Your place is rather small.
Well, my place
Unfortunately.
right now, like you're paying for the location more than anything
Oh, yeah.
else.
You have one of the best spots in all of LA, in my opinion.
Dude, don't dox me though.
Location wise. I'm not gonna. I'm just thinking you live in a really sweet area.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Oh, I helped you pick it out. I mean,
I know.
like,
I know.
I set you up.
Dude,
But I was like, do you really want to
Wait.
pay this much? That's a lot of money. Like a lot.
we had to get over here somehow.
Yeah, you're good.